Hi everyone, it's Jeff here from Avada. In this video, I will show you how you can add logos into Avada, and also how to add favicons, that small logo that displays in the browser tab. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with all the latest videos like this one. And if you don't want to miss one, click the bell icon to get notifications of all new videos on our channel. Okay, let's begin. Let's start with the site logo. You'll likely want one in your header, and possibly your footer as well. There are several ways to add your logo and various formats you can use. Our recommended method for adding a logo into your header or footer is to add it into a header layout section using Avada layouts. Creating custom layouts gives you full flexibility with the content and display of various areas of your site, like your header and footer. I've imported the Avada Barbers Prebuilt site here, and if we go to Avada layouts, we can see this site is using both a header and footer layout section in the global layout. Adding a logo to the footer is exactly the same as the header, so let's just stick to the header. Let's edit that to see how this logo has been added. Okay, here's the header layout section. It's very simple and has only two elements in it, the menu and the logo. A logo is essentially just an image, and so here the logo is added with the image element in a 1/5 column. Now in this instance, if we edit this image, we can see that the designer has used an SVG file. WordPress doesn't support uploading SVGs out of the box, but with Avada there is a global option you can turn on to allow the upload of this very useful format, without the need for plugins or custom code. This option can be found under the Performance tab, and it's called SVG Media Upload. SVGs are a great format to use as a logo, as they have a very small file size, which is great for performance reasons, and because they are a vector file, they also scale perfectly, which means you don't have to upload multiple versions. And all modern browsers now support them. But still, not everyone is a designer and can even make SVG files, so of course you can just use the traditional pixel-based transparent PNG file for your logo as well. For more information on SVG, see the link doc below. And for more info on formats and sizing of images generally, please see our image format and size guide, also linked below. The image here has been set to skip lazy load, as it's at the top of the page, and it's linked via a dynamic option to the site URL, which means it will go to the home page when clicked. But otherwise, it's all default options. What's interesting with the approach on this site though, is how the designer has controlled the size of the logo in responsive situations. As we have seen already, on large screens the column containing the logo is a 1/5 column, but if I toggle the responsive options to medium screen, we can see here it is a 1/4 column, and on small screens it's 45%. Because it's an SVG file, it automatically resizes to fill the allotted space. It's a clever way to control logo sizes, but it's not the only one of course. Alternatively, you could of course make separate containers for medium and small screens and create completely different layouts if you wanted, using rendering logic to control their display, or have different logos in the same layout and use visibility options. It will all depend on the header design and your preferences. Now as I mentioned before, not all users will be au fait with SVG files, and so the more typical image format to use for a logo is the PNG format, as it supports transparent backgrounds, which a JPEG does not. So here let's remove the SVG file and add a PNG file instead. I've already uploaded one into my media library, so I will edit this file and add the PNG file instead. Note how its full size is 400 pixels. Now as this image is 400 pixels, it's currently being constrained by the size of the column. But to make sure it displays as I want, I will go to the Design tab and set an image max width of 200 pixels, which is exactly half the actual width of the logo itself. This now acts as a Retina logo with improved resolution. We're loading a 400 pixel file, but displaying it at a maximum width of only 200 pixels. And due to our responsive image handling, the browser will decide which image to load, so there is no performance impact here. On non-Retina screens, the browser will load the 200 pixel image variation anyway. Okay, closely related to the logo is the favicon, which stands for Favorites icon. This is the icon you see on the Browser tab next to the page title, and you set this in the Global Options in the Logo Favicon tab. In fact, you can upload 4 different size favicons through the Global Options. A favicon should be square, and it's the favicon from this first option that displays in the Browser tab and in Save Bookmarks. But you can also upload icons for smartphones and tablets which are much larger. There's an option for an Apple Touch icon, one for Android devices, and a Microsoft Edge icon. So when making a favicon, it's easiest to start with a large size and then resize down for the different versions. I like to make mine at 1000 pixels, so I can work on a large image and then resize them down. You can see the required sizes for each version in the option descriptions. As far as formats go for favicons, PNG files are probably the best, but you can also upload a JPEG. I used Photoshop to make my favicons, but you can use any graphics program that you can access. There are also online tools like Favicon and Favicon Generator, so I will also link to these in the description. Whichever way you make it, the trick with creating favicons is that they need to be square and they need to look good at a small size. This means they can be difficult to design, so a good tip is to keep them as simple as possible. I've designed and resized the favicon for this site and saved it out in 4 different sizes and uploaded them to the media library. The main favicon can be uploaded at either 32 by 32 pixels or 64 by 64 pixels. So I'll click on Upload and add my 64 pixel version. I'll just finish adding the rest of them. Okay, now we have uploaded our favicons, let's just go to the site on the front end. You can see the favicon up here, next to the site title. That looks fine. If the site is saved to a user's favorites, the icon will go with it. Okay, that's logos and favicons in Avada. Thanks for watching, and let us know in the comments how you approach this topic. This concludes our video on how to add logos and favicons to your Avada website. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with all the latest videos, and if you have any questions or need assistance, please create a support ticket and our team will gladly assist you. As always, we want to thank you for choosing Avada.